Hello my dear students, welcome to my channel. I am Ganesh Rao, lecturer in accountancy. I am continuing the previous video topic. Receipt of check. In this video I am going to explain the transaction related to receipt of check and payment of checks. Check received from Ramesh rupees 5,000. Receipt of check, some conditions are there. Whenever check is received from any person, if the same check is not deposited into bank on the same day, we have to treat it as cash received from party. Why? Because if we received a check after bank hours, it is not possible for us to deposit into the bank. That is why we kept that check in the cash box. That is why we are treating as cash received from where? Cash received from party. So check received from Ramesh means cash received from Ramesh. Cash and Ramesh. Cash comes in, asset. We are receiving what? We are receiving cash from where? Our customer. Debtor. Data comes in where? Data comes in asset. Concentrate on cash. When we are receiving check, that is the same check is not deposited into bank on the same day. What we treated? We treated cash receipt from party. When we are receiving cash from the party, concentrate on cash. Our cash is increasing or decreasing? Our cash is increasing. Increase in the asset is what? Is debited. Debtor. When we are receiving cash from debtor, our debtor balance, that is due from debtor, due from customer is what? Increasing or decreasing? Due from customer is decreasing because we are receiving cash. Decrease in the asset is what? Is credited. Credit. Suppose the same check, whatever we received check today, today's check, what we assumed, check received from Ramesh treated as cash received from party. Next day, if the same check is deposited into where? Deposited into bank. Whatever we received check yesterday, now today we are going to deposit into the bank. So check deposited. Check deposited. We check Ramesh check. If the Ramesh check deposited into bank on next day, what we have to assume? We have to assume what we assumed yesterday? We assumed cash. Now the same cash. Now today we also assume cash. Check here cash. Cash deposited into where? Cash deposited into bank. Check deposited into bank means cash deposited into bank. Why? Because yesterday we treated check as cash. Now today we are taking the check from the cash box. That is, we are taking check from cash box means we are taking the cash from cash box and we are depositing into where? We are depositing into bank account. Now what is it? Check deposited into bank. Bank and cash. Bank comes in, asset. Cash comes in, asset. When check deposited into bank means when cash deposited into bank, our bank balance is increasing or decreasing? Our bank balance is increasing. Increase in the asset is what? Asset is debited. Cash. Cash comes in, asset. When we are depositing check into bank, that is when we are depositing the cash into bank, our cash is increasing or decreasing? Our cash is decreasing. Why? Because we treated yesterday check as cash. Now our cash is what? Our cash is decreasing in the cash box. So asset decreased means what? Our credited. So cash account is what? Cash account is credited and bank account is what? Bank account is debited. Now next transaction. Cheque received from Shyam rupees 4,000 deposited into bank now what is it? Cheque received. We are receiving cheque today and on the same day deposited into bank. Whenever cheque is received from any person, if the same cheque is deposited into bank on the same day, then we are taking two aspects, that is bank and party. Because what we are assuming? We are assuming the cheque is received during the bank hours, so it is possible to deposit into bank account. So we are treating directly, we are sending to bank. Bank balance is what? Bank balance is increasing. So bank comes in what? Bank comes in asset and Shyam is Shyam. We are receiving cheque from where? Cheque from customer. So customer comes in asset. Next, bank comes in asset. When we are receiving cheque and deposited the same cheque into bank, our bank balance is increasing or decreasing? Our bank balance is increasing. When we are depositing the cheque into bank account, our bank balance is what? Our bank balance is increasing. Increase in the asset is what? Increase in the asset is debited. Now data comes in asset. Due from when we are receiving cheque from party, from customer, that is due from customer is increasing or decreasing? Due from customer is decreasing. Decrease in the asset is what? Is credited. So Shyam account is credited, bank account is what? Bank account is debited. So whenever cheque is received from any person and deposited into bank on the same day, we have to take two aspects, that is number one is what? Bank, number two is party name is to be taken into consideration for the purpose of what? For the purpose of knowing which account is debited and which account is credited. Now payment of cheque always take bank. Only in case of what? Only in case of receipt of cheque conditions are there, but whereas in case of payment of cheque there is no condition. So in receipt of cheque condition is there. What condition? Whenever cheque is received from any person, if the same cheque is not deposited into bank on the same day, we are treating cash receipt from party. If the same cheque is deposited into next day, what we have to assume? We have to assume cash deposited into bank. Why? Because yesterday what we assumed? We assumed cash. That is why cash deposited into bank. And what is it? Whenever cheque is received from many person, the same cheque is deposited into bank on the same day, then we are taking two aspects, bank and party name. Now I am taking the payment of cheque. Payment of cheque, there is no condition. Payment of cheque always we have to take bank in rough work. Rent paid by cheque. Rent paid by cheque rupees 2,000. How we are paying? Rent? By giving the cheque. We have to take rent and by cheque. How we are paying? Through cheque. We have to take bank. Rent paid by cheque. Rent comes in what? Payment of rent comes in expenses. Bank comes in asset. Concentrate on rent. When we are paying rent, Paying rent is expenses. Our expenses is increasing or decreasing? Our expenses is increasing. Increasing the expenses is what? Is debited. Bank comes in asset. When we are paying the payment through check, our bank balance is increasing or decreasing? Our bank balance is decreasing because we are paying check. Payment made by check means our bank balance is decreasing. Decreasing the asset is what? Is credited. So bank account is credited. Rent account is what? Rent account is debited. So you take another example. Salaries paid by check. Salaries paid by check. How we are giving salary? We are giving salary by means of payment of check. Salaries and what? And bank. Salaries comes in what? Salaries comes in expenses. And bank comes in what? Bank comes in asset. Concentrate on salaries. When we are paying salaries, it is a salary. Paying salaries is expenses. Our expenses is increasing or decreasing? Our expenses is increasing. Increase in the expenses is what? Increase in the expenses is debited. Bank comes in asset. When we are paying the payment in the form of check, our bank balance is increasing or decreasing? Our bank balance is what? Our bank balance is decreasing. Decreasing the asset is credited. So bank account is credited. Salaries account is what? Salaries account is debited. Thank you, my dear student. I am continuing this topic in next video. Thank you.